Um, Welcome back to Sick Conversations, Season 2, Episode 3. I'm joined by two new faces to the channel, Wilma and Jerry. Wilma.
Thank you, John. Hello, everyone. My name is Wilma. I'm a warrior, and I'm so honored to be joining Dawn as a co-host on Sick Conversations. I'm excited to be here and to interact with everyone. I know it's going to be great. Yeah.
Thanks for joining the team.
Thank you.
And Jerry Lee, who is a caregiver, who's going to share, everything about what it is being a mother to a warrior.
Yes. Hi, everyone. My name is Jerry, and I'm a mother to a sickle cell warrior. And I'm glad to be here to share my experience as a caregiver. And I hope that my story can be able to support or probably reach out to someone who's probably going through the same and just want you to know that you're not alone. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure it will. So, tell me about how it is being a caregiver in general. About yourself and how you got started. Well, obviously we know you got started as a caregiver, but how that is.
Yes. Like I said, my name is Jerry, and I'm mother to a sickle cell warrior. Well, the journey began when she was 6 months old. Well, the constant cryings and you literally, I don't know, as a mother, you probably think, okay, maybe the child is coming down with maybe something. And then we took her to the hospital. It was within a period, I think, of a week and a half that she kept on like constantly crying. And she was a very calm baby. Like she was this kind of baby who would never cry, but the cryings would never stop. And then the temperatures were quite high. And so, when as a mother, any mother, whether you have a sickle cell warrior or not, when the temperatures are high, you can't sleep. Like you're literally worried. So we kept on going in and out of hospital. I think when like 3 or 4 times within a period of 1 week, and she wasn't getting better until one night we woke up, and then I think I woke up to breastfeed, and then I noticed she had swellings on her hand. And then I told the dad, I was like, you know what, there must be something wrong. And I think there's a Baganda call it, I don't know, there's other swellings on and I thought that was it. I think Ntunoka or something. That's what I assumed. And so I was like, you know what, it's like, I don't know, let's sleep it off. We'll go to the hospital tomorrow. So I thought maybe the help or the brother probably dropped her or something, and they just kept quiet. And so we went to the hospital, and the doctor I showed him, and then he just asked me one question. He's like, do you have sickle cell in your family? And my heart just skipped a bit, and I was like, oh my God, like, yes, I've seen people in my family who have. And my husband, for him, in his family, there is no history. Like, he's never seen anyone in their family until to date. There's no history of anyone with sickle cell.
Wow.
That's so interesting.
Yes. So for me, I think I've seen like 3 or 4 people with sickle cell. And for me, deep down in my heart, I knew something was not right. I was like, okay, I think this is it. And so the doctor encouraged us to go do the tests and stuff like that. So we go and do the tests in the lab, and the results came back after 24 hours. Like those were like the longest times of my life. 24 hours and 24 hours, and then boom, I remember it was like at midday the previous day, and then the results come out at midday. And like I could not eat, I could not do anything. Like I just wanted to know. And I remember the results were sent to my husband, and he reads the results, and I find him crying. I was like, no, I'm like, no, it can. There's nothing worse than cancer. So I assumed it was cancer. So I was like, it must be cancer, nothing else. And then he's like, sit down, but I think Amara has sickle cell. And we just sat down and held each other and wept. And wept until we had no more tears. And then we got up and we're like, okay, no. What next? And that is how the journey began.
Wow. I can't even imagine how emotional it was.
It was.
Yeah, but it's good that you guys got strong. I know for her. I would like to know what's the ideal toolkit for a caregiver or a guardian. Like, what should you have? What should you know?
Okay, well, I think it's a lot. Because I know when you interact with other people, or like what works for my child probably does not work for another child. But for us, I literally have to. I have to have ibuprofen in the house. It's a must. Or Panadol for me. Recto. Then we have to ORS.
Okay.
Yeah, that's it. Like literally, and then of course, constant hydrating is a must for us.
So are those like the painkillers that you identified that they really work for her?
Yeah, they do. They literally work for us.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah.
Based off your experience, has it ever felt like it has become overwhelming at any point, or it's been manageable?
Oh my God. Like every time they are sick, it is overwhelming at a certain point.
Yeah.
Not that she is a burden, but like it becomes overwhelming for you emotionally. Like there's so many emotions that come in. Now, for me, her dad works up country, so he literally visits like sometimes and what. And then there are times she's very sick, and then you're alone in the house, like, and then she's crying, and like you do not know what to do. It becomes so overwhelming. Like you're like, oh my God, how do I get through this? And there's like there are times when she's in pain and she's crying, and you're like, okay, you've given the painkillers, you've given this, and she's still crying, and she's mommy here, mommy this and that, and you literally do not know now what to do. Like, okay, God, what do I do now? Like, I'm so overwhelmed.
Yeah.
And then, of course, you get overwhelmed when you have to balance every other thing. I don't have only one child, I have two. And then also, how do you maneuver not actually letting the other child feel like they are left out? Because I think the time when she fell sick, my boy, the firstborn, felt like I think we did kind of like, I don't know, we've made him feel like he was left out, because all our emotions and focus were literally directed to me, because you're on your toes. You're like, oh my God, what if she cries, or if any small thing, you're like, oh my God, what do we do for this little child, and what? And then the other comes, mommy, this, and you're like, no, later.
Yeah.
Later. So yeah, it becomes overwhelming at a certain point. It does. It does.
Okay, so how did you choose to say it out to your friends and family that you actually have a warrior with you?
My family, oh my God, like the biggest support system. My cousins, my aunties, oh God, they're so amazing.
Wow.
Literally that time we found out that she had sickle cell, okay, that day before, I remember when the doctor told us, you have someone in sickle, I called my aunties, I told them, this is what the doctor said, and that, and they're like, you know what, go and test, just go and test and get it done over with. And the next, I told them, they kept on as call, like they thought the results were coming out that day, and the calls were constant. And I felt like, oh my God, the pressure is too much. So the next day, I think about 20 or 10 people called me at the same time.
Wow.
Checking. I'm like, have you gotten the results? Have you gotten the results? I told them, my God, like at this time, like, and at midday, I received, I don't know how many calls. Well, the family, they literally encourage us now. My auntie, the one whose son had sickle cell, I told you my husband was more broken, I think, at that point than me.
Yeah.
Because he was down and was really feeling bad. He's like, you know what? Just give him the phone, and I talked to him. And I remember after speaking to him, he just was like, Kamara will be fine. Like, we'll get through this.
Yeah.
And the most important is having a very supportive partner. Well, my husband is so supportive. Like,
It's amazing.
yeah, he is.
Amazing. Has sharing your journey affected your? Has sharing your story affected your journey at all? Have people reacted differently towards you now, or treated you differently?
Not that I know of, but I don't think I've had anyone. I've not felt like people are treating me differently or anything. Of course, okay, the only thing is of people are more cautious of like when she comes, she's like, they're literally worried, like holding her like a glass or those things. And me, I don't want her to feel like that.
Yes, of course.
Yeah.
I'd like you got someone like be this child and what. But I remember there's this one also friend and a neighbor. She told me, now Jerry, just choose to block your mind. I mean, from all the people are going to tell you all sorts of things. I remember this one person who, I don't know how she found out what, but a family member, and she called and she's like, I hear you over crying. It's just the beginning. I was like, oh my God. I was so heartbroken. I felt so bad. I was like, oh my God, how can this person say this to me? But again. And yeah, I was like, I'm a Christian. I believe in God so much, and I chose to. There's a scripture in the Bible. I think it's in Proverbs where it says, let me paraphrase it. It's literally like, guard your heart from the thing, the things of the world, like that. Out of it, like come issues of life. I just chose to guard my heart. I'm like, God, I choose to guard, and if it means shutting out someone that is going to make me feel down, I'm going to shut them out. I am. And that is how I've been able to get through it.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then could you share a moment when you've had to deal with a very challenging, extremely challenging situation with her?
Yes. The one time that we had to have a blood transfusion, I was very scared, and she was 2 years old. Yes, she was 2 years old. And we had like, I think that time when after lockdown and then kids had gone back to school and then kids kept on having cough. And so the brother would come with cough every day. And then she got cough. We treated that cough, I think, for 2 months. 2 months or what?
Wow.
And it was not going. Like, I think if she rests school like for 2 days, then the cough is back.
Oh dear.
So this one time she got cough, like it was not going. And then like through the night, she woke up and she told me, Mommy, I'm coughing blood.
What?
And I'm like, what? The way I jumped out of my bed. She was nose bleeding. She was coughing blood and nose bleeding. I was like, what? And then the temperature, my God, it was 39. It was still reading. We reached 39.7 and it was still reading. I literally just put the thermometer away. I said, good, I don't want to. Next, we dressed her up. We took her to the hospital. And the doctor just told me, well, we need to do a blood transfusion. Like, this is really blood. Like, I think her platelets were quite low.
Okay.
Yes, so they had to do the blood transfusion for her.
Wow.
I think the first 2 nights of us being in the hospital were very tricky. Like, she was like really badly off. I think at that point even they had to put oxygen for her. She was not breathing well. I was very scared. And like also, like when they get sick, like that time between as I think you get older, you literally learn to manage your emotions and when like you panic less when they're sick, because when you panic, there's this one time when she was still months old, when I just found out she had sickle cell, I woke up and she had a temperature. I was so scared the bottle fell and broke.
Oh dear.
And I'm sure the bottle fell and broke. So I think you learn to manage your emotions and your fears.
Yeah.
Yes.
Of course.
Yeah. So that was the one scary, I think, experience I had. The blood transfusion.
Okay.
Yes.
On the opposite end of that, what's one moment you really appreciated Amara being in your life?
My God, I think every day she's I don't know, she's so, I don't know what word to describe, but she is very strong.
Yeah, you think earlier she's strong. She teaches you how to.
Yes, she's very strong-willed. And at school, I remember because right now she's going to reception. I think that's top class. And when she had just joined school, Bananga was so scared. Like, I kept on calling the school the first day of school, and the dad was like, "Just let the girl be, please." Let the girl be, please. And also, her dad is a very strong-willed person. In his nature, he's very strong-willed. I think she's more of her dad's character. I'm the very emotional. I choose to say I'm emotional. I'm the nervous kind of wreck kind of person. Yeah, so I think and I thank God she has her dad's strengths and emotions and everything. So I remember the first day of school, I called school like 3 times. And along the way, that teachers told me, "My God, is this girl really sick?" And I was like, "Why?" He's like, "My God, this girl is stronger than any other child in this class." I was like, she's like, "My God." Meanwhile, in school, she strives to be very good. She is like, I think they have this thing at school where they ask who wants to be like a leader or something. Every week, this girl is a leader. She's a leader, and like literally she just makes us so proud. And I think this one moment I felt so proud of, like recently at school, because right now she's on holidays. They had a book reading, I think club or something, and this girl, okay, she's just learning how to read. So they asked the class, who of you would like to volunteer to read the story? And I'm saying the words in the book this girl cannot read. But she put up her hand and she chose to read. And guess what? It was, I think, a story of the 3 little piglets or something. This girl already had the story in her mind. The story that the teacher had told them at school. And literally she was opening, I'm seeing her flipping. I'm hearing she was flipping. But she told the story the way it was in her head, not in the book. And then I was like, my God, this girl, that's a day I realized like she will not let anything stop her. And I was like, my God, my heart was just bursting with so much joy and pride. Yeah. That's the one time I really felt like, oh my God, it hit me, and I was like, okay, yeah.
Okay, so I know we already hinted on this, but could you paint us a picture of a day in your life as a caregiver? What does it look like?
A day as a caregiver.
Because you said you stay at home.
Yeah.
Full time.
Yeah, I stay home full time, and I do like an online job. So usually my day, of course, in the morning, you wake up, if she's going to school, prepare her for school. She goes to school. I pick up I think at about 1. Yes. So I don't know, in between then, sometimes you feel okay, not that it's but I'm speaking as a mother. There are times when like it gets overwhelming when the kids are at home, but when they're not home, there's that breath of air you get. So in between, I like probably do my own, maybe I have baby errands, or maybe you have people you're going to meet and catch up, because I think the time when she fell sick, it actually affected my social life. I felt like as I was withdrawing from the world and people would call and be like, yeah, let's meet Jerry, let's meet up. And I'm like, man, you guys, I can't, like Amara, I can't leave. And you know, the people are like, but you girl, like what's up with you? Yeah, I'm like, no, you guys, I can't leave her. Of like, I can't like, so literally I felt like I couldn't, I felt like I would feel guilty if I left her and then something happened to her. So I felt like I needed to always be there. Yeah, but I think ever since she started school, I feel like I can do things more. I can run here. And even now as she's getting older and stronger, I can be able to do other things. I leave her home and then I go and do my things and what.
Okay.
Yes. And I think also the people your support system at home, if you have this help who's very good and what, and yeah, I think that's it.
Yeah, that was actually going to kind of touch on my next question. Like, what are your coping mechanisms Has it affected your mental health at all, being a caregiver?
Yes, in the beginning, I felt like it did. Like I was very paranoid, very, very, very paranoid. I'd be so nervous, even if she has fallen down because because maybe she's just tripped or fell over.
Yeah.
I would be like, my heart would pump, and like I said, there's a time I felt like I think I was having a heart problem. Guys, if anyone says the heart aches, Panange, my heart used to ache.
Oh dear.
It would ache and it would pump. I'd even ask the people sitting next to me, guys, are you hearing my heart pump? It would ache. Like it would ache and my heart would beat. I would be nervous and then I would get these headaches. Like I think they were called migraines. God, guys,
Yeah.
those were like the worst headaches I ever got because I was always worried and scared. I would even find myself speaking to myself.
Oh dear.
I'd be like, oh my God, I think I need to do this. And my son noticed and he'd be like, Mommy, you'd like talking to yourself. Or like that time I think he was 7 or 8. And he's like, Mommy, you like talking to yourself. Do you know that? And I'm like, oh my God, my son has noticed that I speak to myself. Oh my God, I think I'm losing it. So I don't know how I came out of it, but eventually I think as she gets stronger or you realize that I got through this and she did die. I got through this and this did happen. Like, yeah, well, there's hope.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There is. I guess you have to live through life being very hopeful. Yeah, being very hopeful and then having a very positive attitude.
Yeah.
Very. The biggest battle I think is with the mind because my mind, every time she felt sick, I felt like I was even hearing voices in my mind telling me she's going to die. Guys, I used to watch her like a hawk when she was sick. Like I'd be like this
Yeah.
every time, like the whole night I would not sleep. And then if I dozed I'd beat myself up for dozing. I felt like I needed to watch every moment.
All the time, 24/7.
Yes, 24/7. So if you let it get to you, I think you can lose your mind.
Yeah.
You do. And I was at that point where I felt like I was losing my mind because I was very nervous every time. As a nervous wreck, I'd get scared. And then if I've stepped out of the house and someone calls me from home,
You're scared.
that's pumping. I literally even park. And because I cannot receive that call while driving. And I have to receive it while I'm like, okay, what's wrong with Amara? And then she's like, no, I'm not calling for Amara. I'm like, oh, okay. And I'm like, yeah. So those moments, I think every mother who has a child with sickle cell or a child with a chronic disease will testify to that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then what are the common misconceptions that you've encountered of sickle cell have you encountered?
The first is every person assumes that when they get to 20 or something, they will not get crises. I've had those stories before, even before. And then I've also had people say, their lifespan is up to maybe 30. I've had people 25 over.
That
Yes.
is too much.
I know. I'm surprised that
My mom was told 10.
10,
Oh my
then
God.
13,
Yeah.
then 18.
Yes.
Oh God. Yes, I've had those misconceptions. And yeah. I don't know. Those are the ones I've had.
Yeah.
And I've also had like, they're going to be very delicate. Oh my God, my daughter is nothing like delicate. Oh my God, she's a go-getter. She literally has made me feel or know that I think you choose to limit yourself.
Yes.
You choose to limit. I don't know if she has gotten to a point where she has, okay, I don't know if what age a child starts getting like a mind of their own. But this girl, I think, has gotten a mind of her own. You cannot stop her.
Yeah.
She's determined. If she wants to do this, she will do. So also as a caregiver, I feel like you should not let the disease define them.
Yeah, I agree with that 100%.
Yeah.
Has sickle cell affected Amara's development or like education? Nothing yet.
No. No.
Not yet, but nothing.
No. It hasn't affected her. And yeah, at all. And there's this one time last year, she was making 4. Her birthday is in September. And this girl was sick. Like really, but she knew she wanted to go and celebrate her birthday at school. This girl
With her friends.
with her friends, she was like, I have to go. She was sick. My God, she was really sick, and you're really seeing the girl is not well. She's like, Mommy, I have to go. I have to cut my cake with my friends. And like she had this group of friends she knew were going to stand with her and cut her cake with her. And I remember we did cut the cake, and then we went home, and then she was down, like very down. Like that was, I think, the one time she really got a very bad crisis. She could not walk, sit. She was literally carrying. So I think that's the one time, but not that I know of.
Yeah.
Like maybe she'll fall sick 1 or 2 days, and then we're back at school. Yeah.
Okay. And then how do you navigate the financial burden that comes with sickle cell disease and being a caregiver?
Okay, well, for us, my husband, since he works, we do have insurance. I cannot speak for other mothers. Yeah, but the insurance has been of help, and I'm actually happy that it's actually being recognized now. The insurance that we use has actually put sickle cell alone. Like there's sickle cell alone, like how you say maybe malaria, but they've put sickle cell alone as also as like to be insured.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, and which one is that?
Yeah, which one?
Jubilee.
Jubilee.
Yes.
I'm insured under Jubilee. I need to.
Yeah.
Yes.
Just look out
Yeah.
also. 'Cause,
Yeah.
Okay.
have you experienced emotional burnout or like compassion or fatigue before?
Yeah. Yes, I have. Of course, the moments when she really cries and she's in pain, and you just don't know anymore what to say to make her feel bad. And like the days, of course, when someone calls, of course, when she's sick and someone calls, and then the first thing is you break down. Yeah. I've had those moments. I think 1 or 3 times. I'm not sure, but yeah, there are those moments.
Okay, and then how do you communicate with her about the condition?
I at 4 years, I don't think she really knows and understands what sickle cell is. But one, her brother is now 10. We've sat him down, and of course, there are times he was wondering why, because there's that one time we were always going in and out of the house, and we'd leave him home because we have to rush the sister to the hospital. And then he was really very curious, and the brother is the very emotional, caring, and she's quite the opposite. She's a fighter. Oh God. Yes. And so like we had to sit him down and explain to him that, you know what, your sister has this disease, and of course he has his questions. I've had to show him videos, like demonstrate to him, okay, this is what happens and stuff like that when Amara is sick. So yeah, so for her, how we tell her is like, Amara, you have to drink. If you don't drink, do you remember the pain you had here? It's going to come. And you'll ask her, like, how was the pain? And she'll say, my God, very much. She's like, you see, we don't want that pain, so you have to drink. So you have to eat. That is for now. That is how we literally try to tell her, if you don't drink, if you don't take your meds, this is what is going to happen. So that is how we've been able to communicate with her. Yeah, at 4.
Okay.
Random question. I know you mentioned like the painkillers earlier. What other meds does she take? Like folic acid?
Yeah.
Hydroxyurea yet? Or she's still too young?
We actually started taking hydroxyurea at 9 months.
Wow, okay.
Yes, at 9 months. Yeah, we started off with 1 capsule. But the doctor told us from the start, every child has their own amount of medication they take, I think, according to their weight.
Yes, weight.
Yes. So we started off with folic and Pen V, And I think at 2 years we had to get off Penvi because there's this I think there's this immunization they give. It's called pneumococcal or something.
Pneumococcal,
The lifetime. Oh yeah. So we got it at 2 and then we stopped doing the Penvi. So we do capsules. I mean the hydroxyurea and the folic acid. That's what we did.
And how is the? Does she really swallow the med? Does she take the medicine well? And I personally fear medicine.
In the beginning, it was hard because the capsules were big, so you'd have to open and then you pour and then she drinks. Now I think this year that we now started swallowing.
Okay.
Yes, so now she swallows the capsules on her own.
So she doesn't try it like I'm challenged.
Are there any other resources, any other forms of alternative care that you've explored? Like I know a lot of caregivers, Habo recommend like Gen S7.
Yes. No. I've grown up in a home that we have had very many medical people around us, so I don't know, we've grown up not really believing in herbal. So
stick to the science.
Yes, stick to the science. And I think I choose to stick to the science. And then the time that she fell sick, there was a warrior, I think a friend to an auntie of mine, I spoke to her, she's a warrior. She told me, at no point should you let her take herbal. Because from my own experience, every time our mom would give us herbal, and then when we take herbal, after taking it, yes, you'd be normal, well for some time, and then the moment you fall sick, it is so bad, you're going to die. So I choose to. I just wanted to tell you, do not give a herbal at any point. Yeah, and my auntie's a nurse, so she's like, please do not give her herbal. Don't give her herbal. Literally stick to the science. And also, of course, the doctors also spoken about it. He's like, he has no problem with herbal. He doesn't want anyone to quote him wrong, but he feels like the issue with herbal he has had with herbal is, and when they bring some kids to him, the problem with herbal is that the measurements probably is the issue. The parents who come and they've overgiven the child, and then it starts affecting, I think, their liver or something. So it's quite hard. So I would advise you not to, because he says there are times a point he has met a patient where I think they've gotten to a point of irreversible state. So he says, I would not advise you to.
But have you met people that have actually told you to use herbal?
Very many. There's even one, I think, I'm sorry, there's this one person we met, and he was telling us, now the child has sickle cell, at times you're still breastfeeding. Since you're a breastfeeding mother, we're going to be done taking the medicine. Then she gets it from the breast milk.
Are you serious?
Yes.
But does it work?
No, with all humility, I just kept quiet. And trust me, that was, I think, the time I got the most advice in life. Everyone is coming with their ideas, with their ideologies, but you choose to see what works for you and what not. For me, I already knew at no point it is hydroxyurea, nothing else. That is it. So this person tells you, Semanye, you're going to drink it, and then after drinking it, the baby will get it through breast milk. I was like, okay.
There are those who even tell you that when you do the herbal medicine, it boosts the HB.
Yeah, that's what I've heard. But
you've never tried?
I don't even want to. I don't even want to. Yeah, because I think I know of a family member. This person didn't have had another ailment, and he kept on taking herbal, and by the time they realized that it was the disease, or I think they knew it was a disease, but by the time they realized, it was quite late. And it was something they could have managed if they took the medicines. Yeah.
How do you advocate for your child's needs in the healthcare system? When they go to hospital, school, any other setting?
One, it's important to be vocal about it. I tell them, okay, guys, look, this is this is Amara's situation, and this is what you guys need to how you need to handle at school. I've told them about it, like this is how you guys are supposed to handle her, and like they literally know she has to hydrate. It's very important. Okay, there are times it's very amusing. Maybe I think they take it to extra because we pack a bottle of water and a bottle of juice for her. And even if she's not thirsty, she comes back when the big bottle is done. And she's like, maybe today the teacher made me overdrink. Yeah, of course, I've had to advocate that it's important for her to hydrate everywhere she goes. But of course, the hospitals know when you tell them a child has sickle cell, the first thing is that child has to hydrate. Everyone, I think, knows that in the medical field. Yeah. But everywhere I go, it's important that I tell them, you guys, she needs to hydrate, and then of course avoid, of course, those dirty things and what. But her doctor says, well, let her explore, so that when she'll discover that this is not good for me.
Yeah.
So yeah, that is it.
So how do you celebrate her accomplishments and her strength despite her condition and the challenges that it comes with?
Like I said, I choose not to
Limit her.
Yeah, I choose not to limit her, and I choose not to let the disease define her. Because of course you've had people like, okay, the child is sickle cell, let's handle her this kind of way and what. But we if we are doing this, if we're doing something, we do it all together. There's nothing like, okay, since she has sickle cell, we're going to push her aside. No, she loves dancing, so at home she'll ask, mommy, can you put for me this song, and I dance. So yeah, like literally she does all those things. She loves swimming. Once in a while sometimes we take them swimming and what. The only issue we have is getting her out of the water. She'll not understand why her brother is still in water and why she's out. Yeah, so yeah.
But does she ever get a crisis after swimming?
Yeah, there's one time she actually got I think the very first time after we had found out, because that time when we found out she had sickle cell, that was 6 months. That's the first time she got a terrible crisis. And then that is like till she was like 1 and something. That's the one time we went swimming, and then she got a crisis. I kind of like stopped the whole thing for some time. Yeah, that's the one time she actually.
But you later resumed, and it's now okay.
She's okay.
Hey, I can't swim. I cannot swim.
Like once.
And yet I really love it. I think I love it, but my big head, I've tried to say, let me do a painkiller before, but my friend, you leave that place, leave.
Oh dear.
So that's nice. I'm happy for her that she can go an extra mile and do all that at 4.
I think also
yes, she's really a warrior at 4. I don't know what I'm doing at 4.
It starts with, I think, you, the caregiver.
Yes.
You need to choose, like, I think not let the whole thing get to your head of like, oh my God, she has sickle cell, I'm going to hold her like a glass, which I did at a certain point, yes. But and you're like, you know what, let her live.
Yeah.
Like let her live to the fullest.
That leads into my next question. What words of advice would you have for other caregivers and families affected by sickle cell?
Personally, I choose to believe that it is not. I choose to let it not define her. I know she's yes, she has sickle cell with its conditions. I just choose to believe that it's not going to define her. And it starts with you, the parent. Like you literally have to have a very positive surrounding, because if you have this kind of people who bring negative energy, it's going to affect you one way or the other.
Yeah.
So I choose to believe that sickle cell is not going to define us. There's this one time we'd go to the hospital, and then this lady's looking at me and she's like, "When I'm gonna have you no more now." And I'm like, "Wait a minute, you're also here because of your kid." Actually, she had twins. What sickle cell? It's like, man, wait a minute, you also have. I told her, I told them, like, my dear, she's a blessing. She's not a burden.
And she's a normal child.
Yes. She's like, you're very strong. And I'm like, yeah. Like, why would you even say that to me? Yet you're also here because of the same situation, you know? So just choose not to be around negative people because trust me, they'll bring you down. And one or the other, when you're around, I think the energy around you affects your moods. So it has to be positive all the way. Yeah, that is it.
I think that applies to caregivers and warriors because other people's moods affect you very intensely.
Yes.
I think it does even when you're not. As a caregiver, it does. Like people, they keep telling you this will happen, that will happen.
The moment you know about the condition.
Yes. And also it's important for me, I believe, and I choose to believe that it's important to always be vocal
Yes.
about it. There's this one time I met, I was in a salon plaiting my hair, and these people just started talking about sickle cell, and I thank God I was there. These guys are talking about, and this was one of them asking the lady who was plaiting my hair, "Was your sister these days? What?" Like, when I don't even know. No, I think we're going to go to this Jaja Chinasi.
Lol.
Yeah, like like I think is traditional healers and what. Oh my God, like the I was dying on the inside. You know, like I said, you're going to mind your business.
Yes.
Then I said no. No, I'm going to be vocal about it. And this guy's like, I know this woman, she heals people. I told them, you guys, sickle cell does not heal.
Yes.
Like with those herbal things about what? Who told you? She's like, what? The chick was literally, she argued with me. She was very angry, by the way. I told her, okay, fine. I have, because I at first had said, I'm not going to let people know about a situation and what. I don't know. I feel like maybe sometimes God puts you in a situation for a reason. Yeah. So I told her, I have a child with sickle cell, and what I literally started teaching them about it. And then I showed them the picture. Then they're like, oh my God, are you sure? And I'm like, yes. So I actually, we kind of got interacting, and then I got the number of that lady. And somehow, so one or the other were able to interact. And now, and the child, I think, was like at 1.5 and could not sit, was only sitting, could not walk because of pain. So, but I thank God that because of the interacting, I wasn't a coward.
Yeah.
So that's why it's very important to be vocal. I was able to be a blessing unto her with just what I spoke to the sister and everything, and speaking to her. And now the child is, I think, 3 years, and so I encourage, and it's very important to be vocal. And for me, I've chosen to believe that yes, it's painful seeing what you guys go through, and Amara, I feel bad about it, but I'm like, out of everything bad, I choose to believe that you can be a blessing one or the other. So just like how you guys have been able to reach out to people with the sick conversations, me, I choose to, if I find someone who needs help, of like, take for example the people on the WhatsApp group, who literally tell people, oh God, this is what is happening, what should I do? Because I'm on several different platforms of sickle cell, and then someone tells you the situation, what should I do? I inbox or I call immediately, and I share, and just to let them know that they're not alone and there's hope. That's important. There's hope.
Thank you so much for joining us. I think you've given a lot of caregivers wisdom, advice that's really going to go far. We appreciate you being here.
Thank you for having me.
And keep communicating. You're one of the most active members on the caregivers group, which I love to see. Always welcoming other caregivers.
Yes. And we cannot wait for Amara to have a phone so that she can join us.
Join us.
And tell us her experiences. And then we can have her here for a conversation as well.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Thank you for having me.
Do you have any questions for us?
No.
No, that's it from us. Sick Conversations. Thank you very much.
Hi.